I'm gonna put my gloves on probably because it's freezing outside. All right, what's up, guys? So I did it. I got the new car, my 2017 Dodge Challenger RT, and yeah, I guess what most people would be thinking about in this kind of situation is, what do you want to do next? What do you want to do to the car? You know, what do you want to add? What power mods? What this and what that? So I kind of want to give you guys what are my thoughts, what am I planning on doing to my vehicle, and really what's kind of going on. All right, so first things first, I want to say is pretty much for right now, I kind of want to just leave the vehicle stock. I want to leave it inside of its stock form and its stock format. And you're probably wondering why in the world I would want to do that. You know, because most people is like, yeah, you know, you got the car, you want to add more power, you want to add more stuff to it, you want to, you know, twin turbo it, you know, do an intake, exhaust, tune, you know, the normal general stuff that you would normally do, or suspension work. But pretty much, I want to leave my car stock just for the time being. Now, my reasoning for that is, before I had this vehicle, I had my 2010 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited, and I loved that vehicle to death. I did a ton of videos on that vehicle, and that's all on my channel. But even before that, when I had my Camaro RS, the one thing that I realized about myself, and even before that, all of my other cars that I had before that, that I thought were cool, that were quote unquote fast or wherever they were, the one thing I realized about myself is that I never really drove them to their full potential. And then even after when I, you know, got my Jeep Wrangler, the other thing I realized about myself is I'm not a quote unquote wrench, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not the type of person who can go underneath the car and like, okay, cool, I'm gonna do this and do that to it. Don't get me wrong, you know, I'm proficient. I can do like basic stuff, but like all of the extra like add-on stuff, like I don't know, like performance mods and stuff like that, I'm just not a wrench. I've never really been one. And I realized that about myself. I am much more of a driver. Like, that's the thing about myself. I love to actually drive. And even with all my past cars before, I realized I never really got the chance to really utilize what the cars were and like actually drive them to their full potential. When I had the Camaro, you know, I realized that, I mean, granted though, I did drive that a lot, but I didn't really drive it to its full potential. I never really maximized that car's potential, if that makes sense. Now, don't get me wrong. When I say driving, I don't mean like basically, you know, like daily driving, like, you know, obviously normal driving. I mean performance-based driving. So with that in mind, the one thing I do know about myself is I always wanted to become a better driver and to be able to drive on a track, to do autocross, to do drag racing, to do all of those real, I guess, quote unquote race car type of things. But, you know, not necessarily, you know, I don't expect myself to become a professional race car driver, but I want to become a better driver. That's what I really realized. That's my goal. I want to be a better driver, and I want to actually like really learn driving skills on the track, and you know, just all around. I want to become a much better driver, because honestly, you know, and let's be honest, you know, most people who have nice cars and stuff like that, they don't really drive them ever, and they don't know how to drive on a track. They don't really know how to, you know, really drive a car proficiently. And that's one thing I always wanted to do, and I wanted to really learn, and I could really improve my skills in that area. So that's my goal with this car. So with that in mind, in the near future, I want to keep my car stock. And trust me, I know, you know, the internet, it makes you kind of believe that, yeah, you know, a Dodge Challenger, for what it is, it's a big boat, and it's, you know, you can't really do anything with it as far as like track driving or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, this car is really big. I know it's kind of weird, like coming from a Jeep Wrangler into this. I still think that this is a big vehicle, just because I mean, let's be honest, it is massive. But I think that's going to honestly play to my benefit, because if I could learn to drive this vehicle well and like actually really know how to drive this vehicle, I think that, you know, those skills will translate over into other rear-wheel drive sports cars. You know, don't get me wrong, the Mustang, the Camaro SS, those are much faster than the Challenger RT. But like I said, if you can learn to drive, you know, the Challenger, those skills will translate over into other vehicles. Because I mean, ultimately, what's my goal? My goal is I want to do track days. I want to do track days a lot, and I would love to join, you know, down the line once I build up my skills and have a much more well-rounded skill set. I would love to join like a racing team or just have a dedicated race, you know, vehicle that's a track vehicle and do track days all the time. Because that's honestly, that's my goal. But yeah, I thought so pretty much right now, my car is my daily driver. So I don't want to do anything too crazy to the car because it's a daily driver for right now, especially. You know, there's snow out right now and I'm driving my car. I have snow tires on it, weight in the back, and it's actually so far it's been doing really well. I'm gonna do a video just on the, you know, driving the car inside the snow much more. I'm gonna do a much more in-depth video on that. But yeah, I'm gonna drive it in the snow. It's pretty much, it is my daily driver. So I don't think adding, you know, a whole bunch of, you know, sport suspension, doing all that other stuff to it, like right now, it wouldn't make much sense to do it because I don't want to worsen the quality of the ride for right now. So it's, you know, I'm not going to do that. Honestly, I think I'm going to hold off on putting on any type of extra exhaust or doing anything like that, or even doing a mid-muffler delete. Honestly, I think it sounds really good, like the way it is right now. So I might not even do that. So I think I'm going to hold off on that. And then doing any of the other type of stuff like to the engine. I mean, honestly, at this moment in time, I think it's pretty good for what it is. And don't, you know, trust me, I know the internet is going to make you believe, you know, the 5.7 engine, it's not that fast, you know, 375 horsepower, you know, like, why don't you get a, you know, Mustang GT or get a BMW or get a Camaro SS or get this or get that. I mean, let's not kid ourselves though. 375 crank horsepower. So probably to the wheels, what, maybe 350, 340, less than that. That's still a whole lot of horsepower. And if you haven't driven that much horsepower before, I mean, it could be, I mean, let's be honest. That still is a lot of car to handle. They are pretty quick. You know, yes, there's much faster cars out. So I'm not really concerned with that. But my thing is, though, honestly, if you really think about it, these are the same engines that, you know, the police use inside their interceptor cars. So right now, in the wintertime, leave it completely stock. When we get to the warmer weather, when I'm actually going to be doing some autocross days, because that's what I've been looking into. I want to get into some much more autocross days. I want to go run the car stock, just the way it is. And then I also want to do some drag racing as well, go to the drag strip that's here. I'm going to just run it stock and just kind of get a feel for it. Because even in just my brief time of just owning the vehicle and trying to do, you know, some 0 to 60 times inside the car, it is a lot harder than what I thought it was going to be. I mean, to launch this vehicle without getting too much wheel spin, it is actually, it's pretty difficult. But with that in mind, just because I'm not doing any mods to the car, I want to be doing some driver mods. I think that's the most important thing that you can do. So in the meantime, while we're still in the winter season, I have made, I guess, a dedication to myself or a promise to myself. I want to go and do a lot more karting. Honestly, doing a lot of the karting type of training, those skills do translate over to vehicles. You know, we have a place here that there's a kart place where like those karts go really fast. Actually, I did it a couple times and it's a lot harder than what you would think, especially when you drive the full power ones and they're like, and it's a real track. A lot of those skills, they will translate over into actual vehicle driving. So I want to actually, for right now, my main goal is to get my driver mod up and I want to go to the karting, you know, just course and like do that a lot more, try to learn some more skills. And then in the summertime, hopefully those skills will translate over to inside my vehicle. Because I plan on definitely doing some autocross and some drag racing and eventually some full-on track days. So with that in mind, let me know, guys, in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you think I should add stuff to it immediately? Or do you think I should stay the course that what I'm doing right now of just kind of learning the vehicle, and then after that time, then adding more mods to it? Let me know in the comment section below. But with that in mind, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like this video, give it a like. Check out some of the other videos that I've done. I've done a lot of videos before in the past on my Jeep Wrangler, before that on my Camaro RS, and now I'm starting to do videos on this Dodge Challenger RT. So if you like this video, check out my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.